Aloha. I am Dwayne Barone, founder and executive director of Students and Athletes for Healthy Relationships. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I would like to share with you some information and perspectives that I've gained from 20 years in the domestic violence treatment field. 18 of which was in private practice based in Colorado, where I was working with court-ordered men, women, and teens. Probably 15 to 20% of those clients were veterans, both men and women. So most people think that domestic violence is about black eyes and broken noses, and that it is predominantly male on female abuses in one direction only. That is true probably about 25% of the time. However, statistics show us that most relationship violence is actually mutually combative, where we have two parties that are going at each other, both verbally, mentally, and physically. Probably in about 7 to 10% of all cases, we're talking about a primarily aggressive female acting against a passive male who is taking the abuse. So, it is fair to say that not a single client I've ever worked with professionally came from a happy, healthy home, and most everybody ended up experiencing and witnessing domestic violence, whether it was between their parents, between a parent and a boyfriend or girlfriend, or often amongst the siblings, and of course child abuse can come into that. Now, everybody I ever worked with described this as normal. Normal that their parents were fighting, normal that their ass was getting beat as part of discipline, normal. Normal was never good. And unfortunately, one of the things that happens is we will pick up a program that we did not plan, and the whole art of therapy has been about debugging and rewriting that program. And we know that this is a program because at the end of the day, I give my clients credit because they almost always said, I am not going to grow up and be like that asshole that raised me. That contributed definitely to their denial and resistance when they were arrested for domestic violence counseling, or domestic violence offenses. The art of counseling and the process of counseling helped them see the reality that they had, in fact, carried forth more of that programming than they had ever expected. They were acting in ways that they didn't envision, and they did not understand that when the stress of their adult lives and their families kicked into place, that they were going to revert back to what they saw as normal. At the end of the day, we can learn how to do it better. We need to work on our communication skills. We need to work on conflict resolution skills. We need to learn how to disengage from a conflict before it escalates. And a big part of that programming is how to change the thinking as far as what we do when conflict arises. More often than not, it's all insecurity based, driven by bad feelings, their needs not getting met, or a competition of needs between the two parties. And unfortunately, what people were taught, especially boys, is that it is okay to be angry and show anger as a way somehow of expressing your feelings. Well, the fact of the matter is that doesn't work. So, let's learn to take a time out. Let's learn to disengage and calm down. Let's learn how to identify our feelings, and then let's learn how to talk about them. Because only through talking about it can we actually solve anything. And if you don't believe that this is a program, let me explain to you that teen dating violence statistics match adult intimate partner relationship violence statistics. So again, about 25% is going to be male on female abuse with a passive female and an aggressive male. 2/3 are going to be mutually combative, and it's filled with jealousy and insecurities. And lastly, you're going to have about 10% where you're going to have an aggressive female acting against a passive male. Thank you for your time. I hope this helps you start to think about what you're doing and what you would like to see differently, and make a difference and change for your family's sake. Because ultimately, what you're doing is going to teach your children how they should act going forward. Thank you. Mahalo.